Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Leer, appearing on Face the Nation, accused Congressman Ro Khanna of getting himself detained by settlers in the West Bank last week in order to draw attention away from the fact that he had been an early supporter of disgraced Democratic Senate candidate Graham Platner, who, you might remember, last week was forced to drop out of his race against Maine Senator Susan Collins after credible rape allegations were reported in Politico. When the story broke last week, Congressman Ro Khanna immediately demanded Platner step aside. Khana on Saturday told the New York Times that during a visit to the West Bank on Wednesday of last week, he was held captive by armed Israeli settlers even after members of the Israeli Defense Force arrived on the scene. When Khana explained to the IDF he was a United States congressman, the IDF soldiers reportedly just stood there mocking him, and Ro Khanna, a United States congressman, had to call the U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem to arrange for his release. He was being detained by armed Israeli settlers in the southern part of the West Bank, and then allegedly by the IDF. Khana said while waiting for the order to release him, the IDF soldiers laughed at him and said, quote, "We don't care that there's an American in that car. We don't care about a United States congressman. We don't care what the American embassy is saying." Ro Khanna now calling for the prosecution of those soldiers as well as the armed West Bank settlers who held him for more than an hour against his will. So, asked about this on CBS's Face the Nation on Sunday, the Israeli ambassador to the United States wanted to know why, if the incident took place on a Wednesday, United States Congressman Ro Khanna waited until Saturday to publicize it. Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Leer, said, quote, this is on Face the Nation, this is the Israeli ambassador to the United States mocking the IDF and armed settlers in the West Bank detaining a United States congressman against his will. Israeli ambassador to the United States, Michael Leer, said on Sunday, quote, to have this incident on Wednesday and wait to release it on Saturday? Maybe this had more something to do with his support of Graham Platner beforehand and the difficulties he had with that and trying to shift the focus to something else, perhaps. I'm just asking questions, unquote. Yeah, he's just asking questions. No, you're just not answering questions. Ro Khanna isn't shifting the focus. You are. What does Ro Khanna's endorsement of Graham Platner have to do with armed settlers in the West Bank holding a United States congressman hostage while they brandish United States-made weapons? What are IDF soldiers doing, aiding and abetting the settlers? Reportedly taunting and threatening a United States member of Congress? Shouldn't that be your chief concern, Ambassador to the United States from Israel? Shouldn't you be looking into whether or not Israeli settlers, in direct violation of international law just by being there, broke more laws by using U.S. supplied weapons to detain a United States congressman, and then, according to this United States congressman, when the IDF arrived, they taunted and mocked him? Shouldn't that be your concern, as opposed to what Ro Khanna's motivation is? Where the hell do you get off questioning a U.S. congressman's motivations after he was detained by settlers and then the IDF, all captured on video? No, he's just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. No, you need to answer some questions.